We are so excited to be here with Valerio. He is the CEO and president of Progressive Financial Services, and he's also an executive board member of GlamourGals. Can you tell us why you chose to serve on our board?
It was an easy decision for me. I'm involved personally with senior living facilities through my parents. My mom and dad have been in a facility now for about 3 years, and I make it a point to go. I visit them every week. I'm the parent now, and I fulfill their needs as they fulfilled mine. So through the process, I've gotten a chance to see what it's like to grow old, what it's like to be alone. Even though you're in a facility with a lot of people, in many respects you're alone. And I know what it's like when a visitor comes, whether that visitor is myself, whether it's the Cub Scouts, whether it's somebody brings animals. Because my mother tells me, last Monday, the Cub Scouts came trick-or-treating. It's a big, big deal. So when I found out about the GlamourGals, nursing homes are 90% women, okay? And women still like to look pretty. They really do.
We do.
My mother is, and I found this out because my mother was complaining that her hair wasn't done. And I said, well, you're not going anywhere. And she goes, no, I have my hair done every week. And I said, okay, I understand. So I got to realize that you don't lose those basic needs. You know, you may be in a facility and you may not be able to get out and walk up to the corner and do different things. But it doesn't mean the things that you wanted and liked all your life go away. They don't go away. So GlamourGals brings a little bit of that in. I mean, it's a lot more than that. You know, it's bi-generational. I mean, it's amazing. Because I know what these older people know. Okay, I know how smart they are. And I'll give you a perfect example. I couldn't get my mother out of a chair one day, and it was a soft chair. And she was with a group of ladies, and this one little old lady said to me, do it this way. And I looked at her, and I'm saying, what is she telling me? And then she saw the look in my eye, and she said, no, I was a nurse for 40 years. That's the way you do it. I said, I got you. So, you know, it's just a situation where people's needs, they're still there. They want to be active. They want to be happy. And the girls go in there and they make them happy. And they trade lives. They trade young to old and experience and inexperience. And so I think it's a great mix.
I think that is so true. I think that a lot of elderly people, they're part of an almost forgotten population. And like you said, people discount their experience because they're older and they're kind of in these facilities where they're not getting exposure to the public. And these young girls are going in and they may actually have a lot in common and not have even realized it. I actually had an experience like that. I went to an event where we did a makeover at a senior home, and one of the women went to FIT. She was in the fashion industry for 30 years, and I'm in it now. And it was like we're sitting there exchanging life stories, and I'm like, we could be best friends.
and that's what happens. You become friends.
You do.
Okay? Because, and I'll talk about this later this morning, when you start this process of going for a purpose, okay, the GlamourGals go as volunteers. Okay. And the purpose is to do a makeover. That changes.
Yes.
You become friends.
It's true.
You tell stories. You laugh. Maybe you gossip. But you become friends. And the makeover is just something that put you together. You know, I really believe that. It doesn't have anything to do with that after a while. It's a bonding experience, and that's a great thing.
I think that's an awesome thing. I wanted to ask you, I know you're creating a volunteer award, and it's in honor of your family, or can you tell me what the motivation is behind the award?
Right. The award's named after my mom and dad, Daniel and Lucille Valerio, and it's just to recognize the work that these volunteers do in senior homes that change these people's lives. There's going to be an essay involved, and I'm going to take the majority of them and read them, and then the plan is that I'll come up with 5. Okay, and then my mother and a couple of friends of hers will pick the winner.
I love it.
So I think it'd be fun,
I think that's great.
So yeah, that's how we're going to do it. And that award then is given out at the Glammys, I believe, and it'll come with a scholarship for books. So that's what we're going to do.
We are so grateful to your support. It means a lot to us to have a successful businessman like Lou Valerio be part of GlamourGals, because we are a women-centric organization, and it's important that men get involved and they show that they support a goal like this. Why do you think young girls and leadership is so important today?
We need better leaders, and maybe this is the group. I really think so. We need better leaders, and why not this group of people? Why not give them a chance? And I just think that they have so much to offer. I consider myself a glamour gal, and I'm proud of it, and I love every bit of it. And the one thing I'll tell you about men being involved in this, remember, every one of us has a mother. So there's a motivating factor here. My mother tells me to do something. I'm 56 and I still do it. So I just think it's a great opportunity for these gals. And I know what they do. This is not easy. Okay, this is a hard process. This takes a lot. It takes a lot of emotional strength. The first time I walked into an assisted living facility, a very, very nice one and a very high-end one, and I saw a room with nothing but walkers and wheelchairs, I don't think I handled it very well. I don't think I was prepared for it. Now I see beyond all of that. It's not even there. But for somebody who's 17 and 18 or 16 to go in there and see that, I think it's fantastic. I look at these places, and my parents have been in very good facilities, but the system isn't very good. And I may be at a stage in life where there's not enough time for me to fix that system. But if somebody who's 16 goes in there and says, the system isn't very good, they have enough time to fix that system.
That is a huge, huge goal. And I think that GlamourGals, our name is awesome, and it shows that we're doing makeovers, and it really is indicative of our brand. But I think you're hitting on the deeper message that people have to dig a little bit deeper about our organization and see that our impact is tenfold. I mean, we're changing young girls, we're creating future leaders, we're making people who have lives in senior homes more comfortable and exciting. And I mean, that's how you should. The end of your life should be a great time, and you should be able to look back on your past and be reveling in it and sharing it with people.
Absolutely. You need to live a full life at the end of your life. And it can be done, but it takes a lot of work. People don't really change. Their bodies break down. There's no question about it. It will happen, and sometimes your mind breaks down. But for many people, even though there's a breakdown, they're functioning. They're functioning at a slower pace. But that doesn't erase the past. I had a friend of mine visit my mother, and one thing that she has is photograph books. And he didn't know her very well, so he thought that this would be an icebreaker, and he would sit there and he'd go through the books. And they're sitting on the couch, and they're going page by page, and he says to my mother, "Lucy, you were hot." And she was in a bathing suit.
Oh.
And I, you can't talk to my mother like that. That's my mother.
That's my mother, yes.
And she turned around and she goes, I really was. And I'm saying, okay, she was. She looked great. And, why forget about all that stuff? Why forget about the funny stuff or the good stuff? You shouldn't.
I agree.
And there's a lot of loneliness. My parents are lucky. They're together. It's very unusual.
Very unusual.
So you have a situation where people become withdrawn and they stop socializing. So things like the GlamourGals especially a younger person, will kind of push them to socialize a little bit more, and that's good for you. It's good for a young person, a middle-aged person. It's good for anybody.
That's absolutely right. I want to thank you so much for your time today. I'm looking forward to hearing you speak later, and just thank you for joining
Very
the
nice to meet
Glamour
you.
Gals
Thank you so
family.
much.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it.